In the mid to late 2000s, the Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport was at a pivotal moment. Shifting airline strategies and changing passenger trends opened the door for reinvention and growth. When Candace McGraw was named CEO in 2011, she stepped into a role filled with potential, and she was ready to lead the transformation.
My mom grew up in Penn Hills, Pennsylvania, which is just outside of Pittsburgh.
And her early education and early life was in Pittsburgh.
McGraw received both her undergrad and master's degree from Duquesne University in Pittsburgh and earned her law degree from the University of Pittsburgh. She met her future husband in law school. The couple were soon drawn to the job market of Cleveland, where McGraw served as general counsel for Cleveland's municipal government.
She started her career because she wanted to change the world. Little did she know that she was actually going to enter the aviation world and become what she refers to as the baby attorney at the Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. And from there, she worked her way up. She worked at City Hall, went back and forth to the Cleveland Airport.
So she had very early on exposure to Cleveland politics. And, that's not for the faint of heart.
After years of serving as a lawyer for Cleveland Airport, McGraw became their manager of properties, then chief of staff, and was eventually promoted to deputy director. Meanwhile, to the southwest, the Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport was looking to chart a new course. In the process of reorganizing, CVG created a new position, Chief Administrative Officer, and hired McGraw to fill it in 2009. In 2011, less than 2 years later, she was elevated to CEO of CVG.
And I think what's really important for people to know is that she took over that airport at a really pivotal moment for CVG Airport and for this community when it comes to air service.
With her fresh perspective and instinct for growth opportunity, McGraw pushed to diversify carriers and make pricing more competitive in the process. She got to work attracting new carriers, using regional travel data to convince airlines of CVG's massive potential. She successfully added low-cost carrier Frontier, as well as international carrier British Airways. By 2017, CVG's airfare had finally dipped below the national average. McGraw's next challenge was cultivating fiscal stability that would support long-term growth.
She started subleasing the land to different corporations. She brought in Amazon, which was a huge win. She cultivated an even greater relationship with DHL, and they all resulted in just having massive amounts of jobs brought to the community.
Candace's visionary leadership has truly transformed the region. We have to remember, when Candace joined, we were primarily a passenger airport. Candace positioned CVG as the epicenter for e-commerce, and now we are 50% cargo. We now have an economic impact of $10 billion, of which $6 billion of that was in Candace's tenure.
In 2024, McGraw made history as the first woman ever to serve as chair of Airports Council International World, the leading global trade organization for airports. Candace McGraw retired as CEO of CVG in 2025 after a long and impressive career, but her impact in the Cincinnati region is felt far beyond the airport.
Candace is synonymous with leadership in the community in all ways. She's had, just in recent times, over 24 organizations that she's either a member or on the board or chaired.
For the past 2 years, she's been the board chair of the Cincinnati Regional Chamber.
I've served on many community boards with her, but most honored to have served on the CVG board. Candace has fundamentally created a lasting impact and legacy for our entire community for decades to come.
If we had many more Candace McGraws, our community would be even better than it is today.
It's okay if people underestimate you. And then when you show up and you go above and beyond and you bring thousands of jobs to the area and people look at you and they think, wow, it's just an even better feeling.
Our community is a better place because of the incredible work of Candace. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the retired CEO of the Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport, Candace McGraw.
Well, thank you. Thank you to Junior Achievement for this tremendous honor. What a wonderful night. And I couldn't be more honored to share the stage this evening with my wonderful fellow laureates. What a tremendous group of people. And I was moved very much by the remarks about community and connection. And that's what the airport is, and that's what Junior Achievement is. And I think that's what this community is. So I want to also thank Brendan and Kay and my daughter Madeline for the tremendous remarks. You know, as you noted in the video, I retired in June, and there was no one who loved my job more. But I have to say those early years were tough sledding. They were tough going at times, and I have a little PTSD thinking about them. But I knew we would be okay, right? I knew the airport would be a success. And the reason I knew it would be a success were several factors. One, it had great bones. And we had all this land that could be developed, right? And you could see the potential in what it could be. We also had a community, all of you, who were tremendously supportive of the airport and knew the importance of the airport for the community. And that should not be underestimated. You know, as noted in the video, I've had the privilege to work with and for airports all around the world. And that is not always the case, right? When people don't appreciate the value of that connection for both passenger and cargo service. So I knew that was great. And I think, and as Scott said, right, I had the best team ever, right? We had people there who were deep aviation professionals who loved this community, who loved the airport, and I knew we would be, all would be well under their leadership. You know, and I normally don't like to call out particular team members because a number of them are here today, and I love all of you. But one that I have to note, anybody who has ever worked with me, worked very closely with Carol Spa, who was my right hand. Not only did Carol know where all the bodies were buried, she helped me bury a few, and that will go to our graves together. And so that I can always count on. And last but not least, I do want to thank my family. You met my wonderful daughter, Madeline. My son, Sean, is here, and my husband, Joe, is here. You know, and as Scott also said, right, there are tough times. There's tough times in business, tough time at home. But if you have a supportive family, that means everything. So I am very appreciative that they've put up with all my crankiness, all my absenteeism, and let me follow my dream of chasing great, wonderful things all around the world. So in the interest of time and reserving 2 minutes for Jeff Ruby so we all get out of here on time, I want to say thank you again, and I appreciate this great honor.